All right, cool. So today we're going to talk about group to team. What's the difference? Anybody know? What do you think the difference is between a group and a team?
Group is a group of people that has like something in common, and I would say team is a couple people who works towards getting something, like towards one goal.
Okay, look it up on your phone for me. Let's see what the actual definition is. Just put group versus team into your phone.
Okay, Google. It doesn't want to talk to me when I'm sick. Group to team difference.
According to the business journals, a group is a collection of individuals who coordinate their individual efforts. On the other hand, a team is a group of people who share a common team purpose and a number of challenging goals. Members of the team are mutually committed to the goals and to each other.
So what do you think? Which of the two would you rather be a part of?
Team.
Team? So how do we get there? How do you think you make the switch between group to team? How do you think you get there? So if it's focusing more on the people of the group, how do you get there? Does just saying you're a team make you a team? No. How do we get there?
I guess you just started working towards getting something, like
Okay.
towards a goal.
So towards a common goal. So what are 4 or 5 facets to identifying a group or team? Like what would motivate you to be a part of a team?
If you need to accomplish a task, and it would be more time efficient and in general like easier to do if you're in a group.
Okay, so
Oh.
more time,
Like
more
with
time
three
efficient, so
people,
you
yeah.
stay on task. Okay, so that's good. But what else? What are some other motivators you think?
Well, sometimes like you get assigned to a group of people that you're supposed to work as a team. So like sometimes you don't actually choose to do it, but like it's just like a part of your work task.
Yeah. So you're thrown into a group.
Yeah.
Can you be successful as a group?
Yes.
Sure you can. You don't always have to be team, right? If you're a successful group, just keep doing your thing if you're getting stuff done, right? But have you guys ever been in a situation where you, knowing the difference, can tell like, okay, this group of people, I was definitely a group. These people, I was definitely a team.
Yes.
Can you guys like share maybe an example of when you're in a group and when you're in a team, and what was the difference?
Okay, group, it would be classroom, like
Classroom.
any class,
Okay.
where it would be a group of people together.
Okay.
Technically, we're supposed to be like, learning and like achieving same goal, but like a team, it would be a little bit different. Like it would be, for example, you gotta do a project for your class, and you work with a specific like individuals out of the group towards getting it done, and like it's probably gonna be more commitment because it's for a grade. So
Okay. So then give me an example of when you were a team.
RA team.
RA team. What's the difference?
Well, we know our task and we help each other, we support each other, and we work towards getting these things done.
Okay. So
So
you
same-
support each other. That was a huge
Yeah.
difference that you didn't say the first time.
Yeah.
And you work together to get things done.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Patty? What do you think? Give me an example of group and then give me an example of team.
Like kind of like you said, like if you have like a project or whatever, like a group, like the way I felt was like we had to get it done, and then like what I felt like we were as a team is like outside of class, like working on the project, but like working as a team, like even keeping in contact, having that like strong like connection to see like if you didn't get anything, like working also outside of like school, like on your own time, and still finding that way to like communicate in order to still like work together and still like accomplish what we need to, instead of just like a group like just in class just doing it there.
Right.
So there's like more work and like communication within the team outside.
Right. So who is responsible for Who generates team? Who's responsible for creating team?
Not necessarily leader.
Okay.
Just like
Who's
a
responsible?
participant of a group. Like
So-
anybody in a group.
So
can start
everybody,
a team.
so
Yeah.
everybody, you are responsible for generating team, right? So it can be up to you that if you want to try to move your group to team, you can start that. You don't have to wait for the president or the boss to start generating that. You can start generating that. Does that make sense? Do you want to ask your question?
Oh, I do. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I am Norman. And I'm saying that just in case other people have no clue who the heck I am. Okay, so Megan really has been kind of laying the foundation with regards to group to team or even team to group, because as we're looking at these dynamics, we're talking about people. And people are truly and honestly, we're mobile, we're fluid, and so are these dynamics with regards to becoming a team to a group or to group to a team. Because as we go through these formations, what you will find is there are some variables that in essence can definitely take us from one place to another and back. Does that make sense? So case in point, one might kind of assume based off of the title that if we're going from group to team, team is probably the more preferred opportunity to be at, right? Will we all agree with that? Okay, but I would contend with you. What's the challenge with being a group? And we talk about common goals, we talk about team dynamics and those type of deals, but with that, one of the things that we also have to be really focused on is what is the vision? How are we intentionally trying to get from one place to the next? What is that mission that is driving us all together? Now, as a group, we're a collection of people that are coming together, so as Daniel said, as students, you all are here with a common purpose of getting your education. That is something that is oftentimes can be done as an individual, right? But you're often put in cohorts to be able to help those dynamics of, hey, I might struggle in math. You might be really good in math. So I'd be like, hey, Pat, can you help me out? A plus B squared equals, I have no idea. And you're just like, oh my God, no, that's easy. Because each one of those represents a variable. And it's boom. Whereas with team, we're intentionally saying that everyone that is in this spot, in this place, every one of you, whether you like it or not, you have this brand, you have this common denominator that binds us all together. That from where we start to where we end, we are going lock, stock, and barrel. It's implied, it isn't always, ideal, but let me give you an example. Many of you have probably watched organized sports, yes? And baseball, football, that type of deal, soccer, you've seen that, right? How many times have you watched this event and all they talk about is one or two players? So I'm from Chicago, so I'm going to pick on one of my teams. I'm going to pick on the Chicago Bulls. Back in the day, when you heard Chicago Bulls, what was the first name that came to your mind?
Jordan.
Michael Jordan, right? And you go on, oh my goodness, is there anything he can't do? He can jump up in the air and be like, oh, tongue out and everything, just like, yeah. He can block people's shots, that whole nine. He can stand out there and look at people and be like, what, you on me? Money, walk away, don't even look at it, right? But the thing is, they didn't say Michael Jordan won. They didn't say Michael Jordan lost. It was the Chicago Bulls, right? Now, there have been some times that if you watch Michael Jordan, he has some really, really bad games. Whereas he couldn't even tie his shoes right. And Michael, if you're hearing this, yeah, you had a moment. Just want you to know that. But with that, people still came in. They still support him because people go through slumps. And so when we talk about dynamics of team to group, group to team, the team dynamics, the group dynamics is what's critically important. So we're going to veer just for a moment, and we're going to talk about those formations. The first one that we're going to talk about is forming. So let's just go back to when you all started school. Do you remember that day? Remember how awesome that was?
It was horrible.
It was Okay, it may have had some challenges. Most students have them, which is why oftentimes we go to new student orientation and all these things to help you acclimate, so that way the first day of school you're just not going, where am I going? Okay? But with that, on your first day of school, you're in a new space, a new environment, you're trying to find your way. Let me guess, there was a group of people that came around you and said, hey, you're brand new here. Let me hold you. Let me look at your schedule. Let me walk you to your classes. Let me do all these things for you. Did that happen?
Yeah.
It did? Oh, that's awesome. Who do you know?
It was Sebastian, one, the other. Pretty much like all the everything was like really.
Okay, so they got around you and they were just like, hey, you are new here and we know you're new here, so we want to take you around. How did that make you feel?
Welcome.
It made you feel welcome. How about with you? How was your first one?
No, just alone.
Facing the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Okay. To hear his experience, would you have wanted that, to be able to have a bunch of people come around you and go, hey, how are you? Let me take you around. Let me make you feel warm and squishy, you know, that type of deal.
Yeah.
So with that, a great demonstration of, hey, this was kind of a team effort to say, hey, we want to make sure you're getting where you're supposed to and you don't get into any mischief or anything, any kind of trouble. Whereas you were like, hey, I'm just kind of, hi, I'm here. Does anyone even know I'm here? So a group, there is a forming time frame that takes place. And this is oftentimes where there's not a whole lot of trust because you don't really know anyone and you don't really have any time to really give that information to people to be able to build that trust. The next one is storming. And this is, now we have some time to kind of find out where everybody is at, what everyone has going on, and now we're starting to find out, hey, there's some things we're supposed to be working towards. So we're working towards that AA in nursing, we're working towards that AA in general studies, or whatever it is that you're interested in doing, and now you're starting to embark on that journey. And as you're embarking on that journey, you're starting to find some resources to pull along with you to help you along your journey to keep moving forward. Does that make sense? As you're going, please understand, when we are at this storming stage, relationships can get a little rocky. They can get a little challenging because we're trying to find out what our synergy is going to be, what our dynamics are going to be. And with that, there's still low trust here. So unlike when we're forming, we give each other those niceties of, hey, how are you? It's nice to see you. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to do my thing because if you don't turn your homework in, I'm still going to get my A type of a deal. And oftentimes when you see that people have been broke up into groups to do assignments, this is truly that formation you can literally set your watch to. The next one is, no pun intended, norming. This is truly and honestly where everybody is literally working towards that common goal. And we have now parceled out, hey, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing this, I'm going to do this, that, or another. We're going to have this time frame that we're going to work together and come back to the table and put all of this together. We're operating from a place of comfort and a place of strength. That is us norming. Now, in a perfect world, we will progress just like this, all the way up into the performing standpoint, where everybody is doing what they need to. I don't have to rely on other people, but if I need help, I can say, hey, Pat, Daniel, I need you. And you all already anticipating that I need some help. You're like, hey, Norman, can I help you with anything? We're just like, yeah, my people, my team, because the team is impulsive. The team understands those dynamics because we're seeing you in different places, different spaces, and we're able to discern what you're needing. Whereas with group, we're kind of passing each other. And we're just kind of coming together because there's this one thing that binds us. And it may just be for that moment. Now, understand this. There may be circumstances, there may be situations, there may be some obstacles along the way that you may feel that you're right here and those things take place and it lands you right back here. There may be some things that take place and let's just say, Daniel won the lottery and he was supposed to be doing all this stuff and now we're right back to forming. And we gotta bring somebody else up to speed. And then it's gonna really keep us right here in this storming standpoint. So once again, those dynamics change. If we can be under the category of team, we are the WNCC Cougars. But with that, really, that's what I get. Stop it. But with that, just because we operate as team, we may function as a group. And that is a major difference. As students, each one of you has a commonality. As a team, you all are part of WNCC, but you might be with social sciences. You might be in a general environment. Those all are how we group you together. You might still be exploring, who knows? But here's a couple of dynamics that I want to bring you all back to. The elements that keeps a team from being a group from being a team, and then vice versa. A couple of things I want to bring to your attention. I don't know how far that one reaches, so I just want to make sure I'm somewhere in the close vicinity. All right. First and foremost, when it comes down to whether it's team formation or group formation, first thing that we truly and honestly have to build is trust. The way that you build trust is by exemplifying respect for all. Respect for people's differences and what they are actually trying to go towards. The second thing is you have to operate from a place of integrity. And what that means is be true to your word. If we are saying we're going to operate and do some things, you have to do it. Because those things truly and honestly, whether we are forming or even if you already know me, sometimes we may completely bypass this stage and we're already here. But if I haven't taken the time, in essence, to solidify that trust with you and to hold that integrity, in essence, this norming can then launch us right back to either forming or storming. Because in essence, I took for granted where you all are. And in essence, that assumption then basically derailed the team. It derailed the group. And that's one of the things that each one of us, as members of these environments, we have direct control over. Am I being transparent? Am I being upfront? And sometimes I might be having a bad day. How many people feel empowered that if a person is having a bad day, or even if they didn't follow through with what they said, that we can have these conversations, we can pull them aside and talk with them, thus not off-shifting or altering the dynamics of the team or the group. How many people feel empowered to be able to do that? Look at all those hands in the air. Here's the reason why. When it comes to dealing with people, we all want to be liked. Is there anybody that doesn't want to be liked? I want to be liked. I want to be hugged and squished and that type of deal. Why? It makes me feel cuddly, you know? Anyhow, if we don't feel like we fit in, that we're a part of some things, then we, in essence, we're going to be very closed. And it's not going to allow us to be able to share and also to receive in what other people are providing. And thus is going to have an impact on the overall outcomes. This is something that, again, we have control over. So if I want to be a dynamic team leader, if I want to be a dynamic group leader, I have to have a vision. I have to have a mission. And with that, I can't do everything. So in essence, I have to operate from the frame point of, do I have faith and do I have trust? And with that, sometimes it may mean, hey, I need your help. Hey, I need your help. Now, wait, I said I need your help. That means y'all gotta come up here.
Where's that clock?
Like 3 minutes.
This is gonna be really, really easy.
Hey, so Norman, I have a question.
Yep.
And I want Patty to answer before she leaves.
Okay.
So it's a known fact that the majority of us give the power to create team away, right? So
Yep.
we give it to our boss who has the higher title. We give it a lot of times to the opposite sex. Like we give it away. We let them decide if we get to experience team. why do we do it? Why do we give that power of creating team away to somebody else who decides if we're gonna be team? Why do we do that?
Because like of the higher status that they
The
have.
higher status, so we think that they're smarter so that
Yeah.
they get to decide?
I think we're
Yeah.
taught that teamwork means you give up that empowerment.
Could be. Daniel, what were you gonna say?
I was also gonna say that a lot of people don't want to have any extra responsibility. because
Any extra
like,
responsibility, so we just let somebody else have it? Okay. So
So-
be thinking about that. The next time you guys have club
True.
meetings or group meetings, don't let somebody else dictate whether or not you get to experience team in your life, okay? Just keep that in mind, all right?
Cool. So,
I'm Patty.
hi Patty Grace. Hi Daniel Grace. So,
Live that down.
right, so I asked both of you all to help me out because I need for you all to identify something very important to. Up here I wrote collective versus individual. When we talk about things that can be collective, what are those things? So with that, Miss Patty Grace, would you start a list of things that would be identified as collective? Things that we can do all together. And just let your mind go out from the
You mean
why
as,
does it-
from the standpoint of being a part of a team?
as why did you want it to be?
as a team or as a group.
Both. Equally, you you get to identify things that are more individualistic, that in essence can impact the team. So all of those facets. So I gave you an example. Michael Jordan. He was on a team, but he operated oftentimes on his own, right? So what are some of those things that you can identify that really is more individual work? And just list them out.
Raise chef. I'm not racing anymore. Don't touch it.
Do you need some different colors or anything? Because that green looks really light.
Yeah, you guys will have to read them because this won't pick up.
Grace, would you like purple?
Oh, I would love purple.
Yeah.